I love a good emo song. And I mean that in a way of like those songs that just get to you. And he said to me one day, he said, I feel like you should do more of that because
Okay, wait. Stop whatever you're doing, because Selena Gomez just dropped something in her new album that has Hailey and Justin reportedly shook to their core. And no, I'm not exaggerating. We're talking full-on, drop the phone, text your bestie in all caps levels of drama here. But here's the kicker. That's not even the wildest thing she's been part of this week. Because while everyone's dissecting every single lyric, trying to figure out which lines were aimed at who, Selena was spotted in a moment so jaw-dropping that it had fans and, honestly, even some close friends, thinking she was about to make an announcement that would literally break the internet. And here's where it gets weird, because those wedding bells people swear they heard? Yeah, they weren't hers. I know. We're going to get to that. But first, let's rewind and talk about what just went down with this album, because you guys, it's not just a couple of vague breakup songs like people expected. This is Selena with the velvet gloves off. You know that moment where you're halfway through a song and suddenly you're like, wait, did she just say what I think she said? Yeah, multiply that by 10 and imagine the entire internet doing it at once. The timeline exploded. Fans are posting theories faster than you can scroll. Some say it's about her own healing. Others say it's about a certain someone's very public marriage. And then you've got the people pointing directly at Hailey and Justin like they've just connected the final red string on a conspiracy board. But here's the thing, and this is why I'm telling you not to skip ahead. There's more to this than just a couple of spicy lines in a pop song. There's context. There's history. And there's a reason this particular lyric might have cut deeper than anyone expected. We'll unpack that in a minute. Because while that was dominating the charts and the group chats, Selena was, at the exact same time, making headlines for something totally different. Something a lot more romantic. Or at least, that's what it looked like. Here's what I mean. Over the weekend, Selena and Blanco were spotted at this very intimate, picture-perfect event. I'm talking flowers everywhere, champagne flowing, that soft golden lighting photographers live for. And people start noticing, hold up, this looks like a wedding. Like, an actual wedding. Now, here's where the internet went full detective mode again. The moment the first blurry photo hit Twitter, the theories took off. Was it their wedding? Was it a secret engagement party? Did they just pull a Courtney and Travis and surprise everyone with a last-minute ceremony? Fans were convinced they had cracked the code. The outfits? Elegant. The body language? Couple goals. The smiles? Suspiciously glowy. But then the truth started to drip out, and that's when things got even stranger, because yes, there were wedding bells, but they weren't ringing for Selena and Benny. And here's where it gets really interesting. When you line up the timeline of these two stories side by side, you start to notice some overlap. The album drops. The lyrics trend. Hailey and Justin are reportedly blindsided. And right in the middle of all that, Selena and Benny are photographed looking like they just stepped out of a rom-com wedding finale. It's like the universe decided to schedule maximum Selena Gomez chaos all in 1 week. So here's what we're doing today. We're breaking down the lyric that has the internet convinced Selena just sent the shadiest possible message to her ex and his wife. We're looking at why this particular track might sting a little more than her past releases. And then we're going inside that wedding weekend moment, what it really was, why Selena was there, and why it still has fans buzzing like it was her own big day. Oh, and don't think we're ignoring the subtle ways these two stories might actually be connected. Because if you think the timing was a coincidence, I have some very compelling reasons to think otherwise. Grab your snacks, get comfortable, and maybe keep your phone nearby, because by the time we're done, you're going to want to text at least 3 friends about this. Music swell. Alright, first up, the lyrics. The song in question, and you already know the one I'm talking about, isn't just catchy. It's specific. And you know Selena. When she's specific, she's making a point. We're going to dissect exactly what she said, who she could have meant, and why the reaction behind the scenes might be a lot more dramatic than the public's letting on. Then, once we've untangled that, we're hitting the wedding story. Because yes, the ceremony wasn't hers. But there's a moment in there, one moment, that's making me wonder if we just witnessed the start of her next big chapter. That's all coming up right now. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It is free and help us bring you enjoyable content. And of course, watch till the end.
I'm just so happy for her. Everything that she's been doing has just been with flying colors. It has this authenticity, rawness, toughness, but just sexiness at the same time. I'm just happy that she's having a moment. Like, she should still be like staying there because she's one of the best. So I felt very lucky, and thank you, Charlie.
Picture this. The clock hits midnight and your For You page explodes. It's not a random meme, not another "things you didn't know about the Roman Empire" video. It's Selena Gomez's face. Again. Everywhere. And not in the quiet, wholesome, look at her cooking on TikTok way. This is chaos mode. This is Selena Gomez-Hailey Bieber drama, trending again after years of fans swearing they'd moved on. This is the kind of night where the internet collectively decides sleep is optional. The reason? On March 21st, 2025, Selena Gomez released her fourth studio album, I Said I Love You First, a collaborative project with her fiancé, Blanco. The 14-track record already promised intimacy, romance, and artistic evolution, but no one was ready for Don't Take It Personally. It wasn't the opener of I Said I Love You First. It wasn't a single teased months in advance. It wasn't positioned like the emotional centerpiece. Instead, Selena tucked it toward the end. Like a secret you only get to hear if you stick around. A dessert with a hidden spice. Fans instantly noticed the strategic placement. Every song leading up to it is either a love letter to Blanco, Scared of Loving You, Sunset Bold, or a reflection on self-growth, February 13th, Bluest Flame. And then, bam! Don't Take It Personally drops like a sly wink to the audience. The effect? It feels like a final word moment. Not loud enough to be a declaration of war, but pointed enough that no one could ignore it. Within hours of release, TikTok had gone full detective mode. Clips of fans lip-syncing the most SUS lines racked up millions of views. One user, @TandreSeeps, pulled up old photos of Hailey Bieber wearing a t-shirt in 2019 that fans claimed was shady towards Selena. Another dug through old interviews, trying to match specific lyrics to rumored incidents. The top theory dominating the comment sections? That Don't Take It Personally is a direct, thinly veiled diss track aimed at Hailey Bieber, dropped just months after Hailey and Justin Bieber welcomed their first child. The timing was too perfect. The tone too knowing. Mainstream outlets like Elite Daily, Daily Mail, and Billboard jumped on the wave, analyzing the possible connections. J14 even published a headline calling it unexpectedly savage for Selena, whose music typically avoids overt confrontation. #Selena Gomez-Hailey Bieber drama shot to 60 million views in under 48 hours. The song itself climbed Spotify's global charts, peaking at number 2, the highest debut for any track on the album. It's the kind of line that can be read 100 different ways. Is she covering her tracks? Is she genuinely telling the truth? Is she enjoying the speculation as free promo? Fans were divided, but one thing was clear: the mystery only made people more obsessed. This is where her PR strategy shows its teeth. By refusing to clarify, she lets the song and the drama live on its own. Every TikTok theory becomes unpaid advertising. Every think piece drives streams. And for Selena, an artist who's spent years being talked about for things outside her control, this moment feels like she's steering the ship. To really understand why Don't Take It Personally is being read as more than just a good song, you have to go back. Way back. From 2010 to 2018, Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber were pop culture's on and off golden couple. They met as fresh-faced teen idols and became each other's most public first loves. And because it was the social media era, their relationship wasn't just covered by tabloids, it was documented in real time by fans. By 2018, after yet another reunion, it seemed like they might finally make it work. But then, In a twist that shocked even the most loyal Selena shippers, Justin Bieber was suddenly engaged to Hailey Baldwin, now Bieber, just months after ending things with Selena. While Selena publicly wished Justin well, fans didn't let go of the narrative. For years, Selena Gomez-Hailey Bieber drama would randomly resurface on social media, sometimes sparked by something as small as an Instagram story or a liked post. Both women tried to shut it down. Hailey, in a 2022 Call Her Daddy interview, insisted there was no bad blood. Selena posted a TikTok saying, "It's not kind to tear women down," after fans harassed Hailey. While most of the attention has been on the alleged Selena Gomez diss track 2025 angle, there's another layer. Benny Blanco's fingerprints are all over I Said I Love You First. Benny isn't just Selena's fiancé, he's one of the most in-demand producers in pop, with credits for everyone from Ed Sheeran to Halsey. His style is versatile, but he's known for giving artists room to be bolder, sharper, and more experimental. Insiders told Billboard that Benny encouraged Selena to stop playing it safe with her lyrics on this project. If true, that could explain why Don't Take It Personally feels more direct than anything she's released before. And let's not forget, Benny and Justin Bieber have worked together in the past. That adds a layer of awkwardness, or maybe delicious irony, to the whole situation. The numbers back up the buzz. In its first week, I Said I Love You First debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, moving 120,000 units, Selena's biggest opening yet. Four tracks hit the Billboard Hot 100, but Don't Take It Personally was the breakout, debuting at number 14 before climbing to the top 10 by week 2. On Spotify, it broke Selena's personal streaming record, hitting 9.3 million streams in 24 hours. The Don't Take It Personally lyrics meaning search term surged on Google Trends, peaking at breakout status. Here's the thing, the Selena Gomez-Hailey Bieber drama fandom divide isn't just about the two women, it's about the communities that have formed around them. On one side, you have the Selenators, who see Don't Take It Personally as a long overdue clapback. They argue that Selena has endured years of thinly veiled shade from Hailey's side of the internet, and that this song is her moment to reclaim the power. On the other side, you have Bieber stans and Hailey defenders, who insist the song is being misinterpreted, that it's either completely unrelated or unfairly weaponized by toxic fans to reignite old drama. Selena's silence becomes the statement in the middle of all this noise. Selena stayed quiet. No clarifying Instagram lives. No defensive tweets. Just a few soft-focus photos with Benny Blanco, a repost of fan art, and some behind-the-scenes studio clips. If you know Selena's history, you know this is her signature move. Back in the revival era, when tabloids speculated about songs being about Justin, she refused to confirm or deny. In interviews, she's often said she prefers to let people find their own meaning in her work. What's fascinating is that Don't Take It Personally is both risky and safe at the same time. Risky because it flirts with reigniting one of the most infamous celebrity feuds of the last decade. Safe because Selena never actually names names. In an age where celebrity image is as curated as an influencer's grid, this is a masterclass in controlled chaos. She gives you just enough to keep you hooked, but never enough to hang her on. And for an artist whose public persona has long been about grace, resilience, and emotional authenticity, this sudden flash of steel makes the moment even more powerful. To understand why Don't Take It Personally hit like a pop culture earthquake, you have to rewind to the Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber saga, a love story, or maybe a tragedy, that unfolded in real time across the internet from 2010 to 2018. Justin renting out the Staples Center for a private screening of Titanic. A gesture that still pops up in most romantic celebrity moments lists. Lavish vacations, complete with paparazzi yacht shots that teen magazines treated like modern fairy tale illustrations. Coordinated fashion moments, including matching sneakers and casual hoodies that still get reshared on fan accounts. But behind the dreamy Instagram posts was a relationship already straining under the pressure of fame. This wasn't just gossip fodder, it was interactive. Fans would scour tweets, song lyrics, and even Instagram likes for hidden clues. The Selena detective community on Tumblr was practically a newsroom of its own. By 2018, it seemed like they might actually make it work again. They were spotted on casual coffee runs. Selena attended Justin's hockey games. Paparazzi shots of them in sweats, laughing, gave fans hope for a soft landing after years of turbulence. Then, in July 2018, the world got whiplash. Justin Bieber was engaged to Hailey Baldwin. The engagement came just months after his last public reunion with Selena, and for many fans, it was emotional whiplash. It didn't matter that Selena publicly wished him well. The timeline felt too messy, too unresolved. Fast forward to the TikTok era, and the detective work around celebrity relationships reached new heights. Suddenly, every user could be a pop culture investigator, armed with editing tools, side-by-side photo comparisons, and the ability to make a theory go viral in under 24 hours. When Don't Take It Personally first dropped, the music press approached it cautiously. Outlets like Billboard and Rolling Stone praised its production sleek, minimal, with a bass line that hits like a slow heartbeat, but avoided making direct connections to the Selena Gomez-Hailey Bieber drama. Critics noted its uncharacteristic bite and sophisticated restraint, but the shade talk? That was left to gossip blogs and social media. It didn't stay that way for long. By day 3, headlines shifted. Selena Gomez fans think she's sending a message to Hailey Bieber on new track E. News, Don't Take It Personally lyrics meaning, is Selena throwing shade? Pop crave from heartbreak to revenge, Selena's boldest track yet. Cosmopolitan, this was exactly what makes a modern pop moment blow up, a bridge between mainstream music coverage and internet sleuth speculation. Celebrities weigh in without weighing in. One of the more fascinating aspects of this drama was how other celebrities responded or pretended not to respond. Miley Cyrus liked a tweet praising the song's "It-Gaff energy." Halsey posted an Instagram story with the lyric, "Got my face on your dartboard" over a black screen. Demi Lovato dropped a subtle fire emoji under Selena's album announcement. Were they showing support for Selena as an artist, or were they picking a side in the long-running saga? Fans argued endlessly, because ambiguity is oxygen for celebrity discourse. And then there was Blanco himself. In a rare public comment, he posted a carousel of behind-the-scenes photos from the studio with the caption, "Sometimes the truth just makes the best song." No tags, no names. But fans instantly screen-capped it and filed it under receipts. The Selena Gomez new album 2025 was already set up for success. Pre-orders were strong. The lead singles had performed well. But Don't Take It Personally injected rocket fuel into the release cycle. In just 2 weeks, Selena gained 3.5 million new monthly listeners on Spotify. Google searches for her name spiked 300%. TikTok engagement under the hashtag Selena Gomez tag jumped by 270%. Of course, playing with ambiguity isn't without risk. The same mystery that fuels intrigue can also frustrate casual listeners who just want to enjoy the music without the baggage. There's always the chance that the drama overshadows the artistry. But for Selena, the reward seems to outweigh the risk. The Selena Gomez new album 2025 has outperformed her last 2 releases in both sales and streaming, and Don't Take It Personally is on track to become one of her most commercially successful singles ever. It's not just about numbers, though. This moment signals a shift in how she's perceived, from the perpetually sweet pop star to someone who can wield her pen like a scalpel when she wants to. If you think of I Said I Love You First as a film, Don't Take It Personally is the scene right before the credits, the moment that lingers in your mind after you leave the theater. You walk out thinking you've got the story figured out, and then you start questioning everything. Selena may never confirm what inspired it. Hailey may never address it. Justin may stay out of it entirely. And maybe that's the point. The power is in the mystery. In the meantime, fans will keep streaming, keep theorizing, and keep the Don't Take It Personally lyrics meaning alive in the pop culture bloodstream. So now we're here at the end of the album, at the end of the gossip cycle, for now, and maybe at the start of a new chapter for Selena Gomez. The Selena Gomez diss track 2025 has done what great pop songs always do. It's given us something to talk about, something to feel, and something to fight over in the comments section. Whether you think it's a dagger wrapped in melody or just a brilliantly written piece of fiction, there's no denying it. Selena Gomez has flipped the script. And now it's your move. Was Don't Take It Personally a harmless story, a calculated PR move, or a lyrical arrow aimed straight at the heart of a decade-old narrative? Drop your theory, your hot take, or your own shade song in the conversation, because if this era has proven anything, it's that pop culture doesn't just happen to us. We make it. In another news, it wasn't the sound of champagne flutes clinking or the soft shuffle of tulle across marble floors that caught Selena Gomez's attention that weekend. It was the way Blanco leaned down, whispered something into her ear, and made her laugh so loudly that a few guests turned their heads. There they were, one of the music industry's most talked about couples, at a wedding, smiling like they were in on a secret, except this time, it wasn't their secret to tell. The wedding bells? Not for them. At least, not yet. Selena Gomez and Blanco had arrived arm-in-arm to celebrate another love story, the marriage of rapper-turned-actor Dave Bird, better known to the world as Lil Dicky, and Kristen Badalucco. The air was thick with joy, the kind you can feel buzzing just under your skin. White flowers spilled over every surface. The lights were warm and golden, casting everything in that dreamy filter usually reserved for Instagram edits. But the moment that had fans, and even fellow celebs like SZA, spiraling was a single caption Selena would post later. You know, the kind of caption that's both so casual and so loaded, you can't help but read it twice? That was the one. It hinted. It teased. It made you wonder, were Selena and Benny next? Behind the smiles, behind the music, behind the perfectly lit photos, there's always a story. And this one isn't just about a wedding. It's about how two people, who've lived most of their adult lives under a magnifying glass, are navigating love in a world that always seems to want a headline before a heartbeat. But let's rewind. Before the cryptic caption. Before the whispers in the crowd. Before SCA's playful spiral in the comments section. What really happened that weekend, and why does it feel like this was more than just a +1 appearance? The thing about celebrity weddings is that they start long before I do. The real show happens in the days leading up to it, the quiet fittings, the hush-hush phone calls, the casual sightings that aren't casual at all. And if you were watching closely, the clues about Selena and Benny's mood that weekend were everywhere. 2 days before the ceremony, they were spotted at a low-key LA coffee shop. The kind of place where the lattes come in oversized mugs and the barista pretends not to notice when your table is buzzing with texts. Benny was wearing his trademark hoodie, Selena in a cream sweater that matched the foam on her cappuccino. They leaned in close over the table, not in that intense, deep in discussion way, but in the way couples do when they're already on the same wavelength. Do you think she's going to cry during the vows? Benny had reportedly asked, smirking. Not as much as you, Selena teased back. By the time they arrived at Lil Dicky and Kristen Badalucco's wedding venue, there was an ease between them that didn't scream, engaged couple. It whispered it. There was no big announcement, no hard launch, just small gestures. His hand at the small of her back as they walked. The way she adjusted his tie without him asking. The kind of unspoken choreography you only get from spending months in each other's orbit. Inside the venue, Benny gravitated toward the DJ booth, of course, chatting up the sound crew about their setup, while Selena floated effortlessly between guests, hugging people she hadn't seen in months. But here's what people noticed and what social media would later obsess over. They kept finding their way back to each other. It wasn't clingy. It wasn't performative. It was just magnetic. And then came the moment that would send fans into detective mode. During the reception, someone snapped a candid photo of Benny holding Selena's hand under the table. Not on top. Not for show, but under, like they were grounding each other in the chaos of the party. That's the thing about love in the spotlight. It's not the grand gestures that give the game away. It's the quiet ones. But if their body language was subtle, Selena's Instagram caption later that night was anything but. And that's where the whole thing caught fire. The wedding reception was one of those nights that felt dipped in gold, not just because of the lighting, but because every single person in the room seemed caught in a loop of laughter, dancing, and those teary-eyed conversations you only have at weddings after your second glass of champagne. Lil Dicky, usually all jokes and punchlines, took the microphone for his vows and, for a moment, became someone else entirely. Kristen Badalucco stood there in a gown that looked like it belonged in an editorial spread, smiling through her tears as Dave told the story of the first time they met. He talked about how she didn't just laugh at his jokes, she challenged him. How she never tried to shrink herself to fit into his world, but instead invited him into hers. It was raw, unpolished, and surprisingly intimate for a man who's made a career out of never taking himself too seriously. The room was silent. Even the waiters paused. Selena, seated 2 tables from the front, rested her chin on her hand and glanced sideways at Benny, who was already looking at her. There's something about watching someone else's love story unfold that makes you think about your own, and if anyone understood that, it was them. By the time the dance floor was full, Selena and Benny had slipped seamlessly into the crowd. One minute they were in the middle, laughing with SZA. Yes, she was there, in a gown that shimmered like liquid metal. The next they were in the corner, talking like the world had gone quiet just for them. And then it happened. At exactly 10:47 p.m., a new post appeared on Selena Gomez's Instagram. A carousel of photos, some blurry, some perfect, all impossibly candid. There was one of Lil Dicky and Kristen mid-kiss, another of her and Benny under the fairy lights, her dress swishing as she laughed. But it was the caption that did it. Hearing wedding bells, just not ours. Yet? That yet was like tossing a match into a field of dry grass. Within minutes, the comments section was a frenzy. Fans screamed in all caps. Tabloid writers started sharpening their headlines. And then, right there in the chaos, SZA dropped her own comment. "Don't play with me like this, Sel." The internet took it as confirmation, as foreshadowing, as whatever fit their favorite narrative. And while Selena was somewhere on the dance floor, phone tucked away, Benny was leaning in close to tell her a joke. Maybe about the chaos they'd just caused. Maybe about something entirely different. That's the thing. The world sees the post, but only they know the punchline. If you've ever been to a wedding where one couple accidentally steals a little of the spotlight, you know exactly what happened next. The moment Selena's caption hit the internet, the ripple effect didn't just happen online. It started in the room. First came the subtle glances. Guests at nearby tables leaned in to whisper, not so discreetly glancing at Selena and Benny like they were decoding a secret. A few bold ones pulled out their phones under the table to check Instagram, eyes widening as they read the yet. You could almost hear the mental gears turning. Did she just? Was that? By the dessert course, the whispers had evolved into casual congratulations muttered as people passed by their table. One friend clinked a glass in their direction and said, "You're next." Benny smiled, raising his champagne without confirming or denying anything. Selena just laughed. The kind of laugh that says, "I'm not telling you, but I'm not denying it either." Behind the scenes, there was a whole other current of chatter. In the green room where the wedding party's things were stashed, someone from the bridal party was refreshing their feed every few minutes, showing the growing number of comments from fans, friends, and other celebrities. SCA's losing it in the comments. They said to no one in particular, prompting a chorus of "Wait, what?" from the others. Meanwhile, out on the patio where the smokers and fresh air seekers had gathered, the conversation shifted. It started with "Did you see her post?" and moved quickly to "I heard they've been talking about it for months." Theories flew. Maybe Benny had already proposed privately. Maybe they were planning something low-key. Or maybe this was just Selena being cheeky, knowing full well the internet would take the bait. And here's where it gets interesting. Even Lil Dicky, the man of the hour, caught wind of the stir. Between dance floor cameos and photo ops, he made his way over to their table, grinning. "So, should I be booking you too for next season of Dave as yourselves?" he joked. Selena rolled her eyes. Benny shrugged with a smirk, and in that single exchange, you could tell they were enjoying this. The night rolled on, but the vibe had shifted. People weren't just celebrating Dave and Kristen anymore. They were watching a side plot unfold in real time. And as the candles burned low and the crowd began to thin, Selena and Benny slipped out into the cool night air, still laughing about something only they knew. The party wasn't over, not for them, not for the internet, and definitely not for the story that was now taking on a life of its own. The thing about posting something explosive at 10:47 p.m. is that you don't wake up to peace and quiet. By sunrise, Selena's hearing wedding bells. Yet, caption was plastered across every entertainment site worth its SEO. Screenshots popped up on Twitter threads dissecting every word, every emoji, and every possible hidden meaning. TikTok was already awash with theories, some stretching so far they might as well have been fanfiction. Selena's phone buzzed in an uneven rhythm, texts from friends, missed calls from her manager, and an unreadable number of DMs. Benny, on the other hand, was far more amused. He sat at her kitchen island, scrolling through memes people had made overnight. "Look," he said between bites of toast, holding up a photo of their wedding prediction from a fan edit, "They've already picked your dress." Publicists live for moments like this, the perfect storm of speculation and sweetness, but they also know the importance of timing. By mid-morning, Selena's team had gently floated the idea of a clarifying statement, just enough to calm the frenzy without killing the intrigue. Selena, sipping her coffee, just shook her head. "Why would I explain a caption that explained itself?" she said, smirking. "Here's the truth. Not every breadcrumb leads to a proposal, but some do lead somewhere." Sources close to the couple, the kind who know the difference between gossip and fact, say that the conversation about marriage isn't hypothetical for Selena and Benny. They've talked about it. They've laughed about it. They've even sketched out the kind of wedding they'd want. Hint, think small, personal, and food-focused. That weekend, though, wasn't about making an announcement. It was about showing up for a friend, blending into the crowd as much as two globally recognizable faces can, and maybe, just maybe, giving the world a tiny peek into what's been growing between them. And if you ask anyone who saw them that night, they'll tell you, it wasn't the caption that gave it away. It was the way they looked at each other when no one was supposed to be looking. For years, Selena Gomez's love life has been a tabloid staple, dissected in real time, each relationship placed under a microscope before it even had a chance to breathe. Benny Blanco isn't exactly a stranger to the spotlight either, but together they've managed something rare, keeping the loudest parts of their relationship quiet. And maybe that's the secret. Not rushing into grand declarations. Not giving away every detail. Letting the world guess while you live the real thing privately. It's the long game, the kind of slow burn that outlasts hashtags and trending topics. By Sunday night, the dust had started to settle. Lil Dicky and Kristen were officially married, their love story celebrated exactly as it should have been. The photos were everywhere, the speeches quoted, the dance floor moments replayed on loop. And somewhere in the background of all those memories, Selena and Benny were still laughing, still moving through the world in that unhurried way of people who know exactly where they're headed, even if they're not ready to put it on a save the date just yet. Wedding bells didn't ring for them that weekend, but you could almost hear them in the distance. Not loud, not urgent, but there, waiting. So maybe the real takeaway isn't about decoding captions or reading into handholds under the table. Maybe it's this. The best love stories aren't the ones we demand updates from. They're the ones that quietly grow until one day, without fanfare, they surprise us and feel inevitable all at once. Until then, the yet lingers.